What's up, everybody? This is Hearthwalkers, the Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering podcast. This is episode 14.2, and this is 14.1. I don't know. This is too long, didn't listen. There's so much stuff going on in Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering right now that we split up the episode into 2 episodes because Galakrond is awake and he's waking up. Let's start the show.
We have not started the show yet, right?
Oh, it's always starting.
Hello and welcome.
It's time to bingo!
Yes! Pull up a chair by the hearth.
Hearthwalkers, a Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone podcast.
Hey there, everybody. This is
We have not started the show yet,
Hearthwalkers.
right?
Oh my goodness, that's happened to me twice already. I can't believe it. I am such a professional podcaster. My name is Wholfie. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing great. There's so much Hearthstone stuff to talk about. There's so much Magic stuff to talk about. We split up the episode into 2 episodes. We've never done that before, and it's great. This is episode 14.1 or .2, whichever I kind of decide, which whatever the thumbnail says is what it is, because I'm not doing the thumbnails again. I already did them this morning. I'm not doing them over. All right. So let's get to it. We got a lot of show for you guys today. This is a Hearthstone only episode. If you guys want to hear some Magic news, you're gonna have to check out the Magic episode that we released at the same time. We released both at the same time, so you guys can have that all that goodness. So yeah, go check that out if you want. Go check that out if you want the Magic stuff. But we're talking about Hearthstone today. We got a couple of news bits for Fireside Gatherings for the Grandmasters Season 2 for 2020 and some Galakrond's Awakening stuff. So let's stop wasting time. Let's get to the news.
News team, assemble!
I understand you're in need of support.
Good news, I've arrived.
All right, we're doing that Hearthstone news right now. We're going to start off with, not like a whole lot, but we're going to start off with the Fireside Gathering news. So from January 21st to February 9th, there will be a special Fireside Gathering event for Galakrond's Awakening. Yay! You can party up, and you can be like on the good side or the bad side, and you basically play. It's not too much about what's special going on about it. It is going to be a good versus evil deal, but not entirely sure what kind of special, like what the game is going to be. No, it hasn't been said that, like, are you both fighting Galakrond? Like, what's going on with that? So more news on that when it arrives, but excuse me, you guys can, if you, for a limited time only, receive a support kit from January 10th to the 17th if you sign up to host a Fireside Gathering and want to receive a support kit. The support kit includes a Descent of Dragons exclusive pin, multiple pins, a poster, Galakrond's Awakening Adventure code card, which includes the full adventure plus the golden pack, which is basically like the pre-release, and bonus Hearthstone goodies. So if that's something that you guys want to try to do and try to host a Fireside Gathering, we might be doing one. If you guys live in the Nevada area, you guys can maybe come to the one that we might try to host. We have to talk to our local game store, see if they have the bandwidth to kind of deal with something like that. But it's super exciting, super cool news, and you get a bunch of Hearthstone stuff in real life, which is hard to find because Hearthstone's not a real game. It's a digital game. Moving on, we got some Masters 2020 news. So they haven't really announced who the official lineup is going to be. We know like which 4, or I think it's like which 2 Grandmasters from the last season dropped out. It hasn't been made super clear which ones are coming back to the Grandmasters tour, but they have added in a bunch of new stops and they're partnering up with ESL and DreamHack as vendors so that they can do these new stops. Each stop is going to come with a $250,000 prize pool, which is just great because it's more money for players. And if you do, like if you win a Masters Tour, there's no real point in doing it again. So hopefully that kind of like balance things out. There's going to be a Masters Tour in Arlington, Texas, January 31st to February 2nd. There's a Masters Tour in Bali, Indonesia, which is March 20th to March 22nd. There is going to be one in, Jönköping, Sweden. What is that? January, April, May, June 12th to the 14th. A to be announced Asia Pacific location from July to August, so like the end of July to August. And Montreal, Canada, 9/11 to 9/13. Always remember 9/11. And the last one for the year is going to be in December in Spain. More on that as times come. Qualifying periods for these events come basically about like a month before the event actually takes place. A little like a month and a half after the event takes place. Qualifiers for those are still the online ones that we've been doing for a while now. So if you're getting good at those, which are still Conquest, I believe, or not Conquest, I think they're still Specialist. So if you're getting good at that, then now's the time to unleash your skills on the world, since we are since there's just more Masters Tour to go to now. So that's happening, and it's great. And yeah, it's awesome. I think that's about it. Let's move on to esports. Moving on to esports.
Venusaur with a question mark.
Get down!
Welcome back!
Welcome back. Surprise, there's not a lot of esports stuff. We kind of mentioned it in the Masters Tour section. There's not esports stuff going on, so let's move on to our main topic.
Because I'm an adult, and when I attend a conversation, I bring my own memes from home.
Use your bolts of lightning!
What? My hair is on fire? I know.
All right, Galakrond's Awakening, January 21st, is literally 9 days away from the day I'm recording today. Galakrond's Awakening is coming so very soon. Basically what it is the new story mode, new single player experience for Hearthstone. It's gonna take place on the 21st of January. It follows the vein of all of our older single player experiences, a la the original Tombs, where Rafam came from. Kind of like you pick a character, you get a deck from that character, and then you play the game, right? And there's like certain bosses, and the really exciting part is that there's going to be 35 new cards for us to get through this single player mode. I think it's 35 cards, 35 whole cards. It's going to be split up into chapters, how the old ones were. So not how the last couple of single player modes have been, that sort of not roguelike, I want to say, but the dungeon crawly sort of deal. Not like that. If you guys have been playing Hearthstone for a while, then you kind of remember the single player experiences back in the day. They were split up into 4 chapters. You have to buy each one individually or buy the whole package. The whole package has to be bought with money, and the price point is $20 for the full adventure, including all chapters, all cards, and you get a fancy golden Hearthstone pack, or you can buy each one individually for $6.99 or 700 gold. So if you don't want to spend any money, you still have access to these cards. You can still craft these cards, I believe, with dust, and you can pay 700 gold to get the adventures themselves. When we all come in, we will receive the first chapter. Each chapter is going to be split up into a good and evil version, and we will be getting the evil half of chapter 1 for free, which comes with 4 cards, but you will have to buy the good half of Chapter 1. That's coming in with another 4 cards, plus 3 bonus cards, just because you're going to have to pay for it, is essentially what they're trying to say. Chapter 1 is going to come out January 21st, like I said, and then they come out weekly in an episodic format. So the 28th is going to be Chapter 2, February 4th for Chapter 3, and February 11th for Chapter 4. This is exciting stuff, you guys. Last set, we had like a mid-set event going on, and it was fun. For shaman players, for non-shaman players, it was not that fun. But this is more like what I'm talking about. There's going to be OP cards. They're going to be great. I think this format of single-player experience wasn't that bad. It was okay. And the reason we kind of moved on to it because they kept doing it over and over and over again. They didn't iterate. They didn't make something new, something fun for everybody. So it was like, oh, this the $20 single player. Yeah, I guess I'll get it. And it was kind of boring. And then you have to go and play the heroic mode, which for those of you who haven't played it, again, heroic mode is the same story with the same villains in the same order, but they're stronger and they hurt more, but you're able to kind of like create your own deck to fight against them. Very different than... Actually, not that different, because the dungeon crawler ones now have that like chaotic mode, which is essentially heroic mode. It's like the same thing. And then there's card backs to achieve also. All super exciting stuff. The 35 cards have not been spoiled yet. That is the one problem that we're going into. They have spoiled some of the new cards, and one of them is very exciting. But it makes me feel like these cards are going to be insane to the meta. Like, oh my goodness. They also said that some of we're going to have some returning faces, including George and Carl. I think they're from the original Naxxramas adventure. I'm not 100% sure on that. Oh my god. And yeah, that's about it. Let's go over the cards real quick. We're basically getting 4 per... Oh, I guess not. We're getting 4 for each hero class and 3 for each villain class. I'm assuming because the villains got Galakrond, it works out a little bit differently. And then 4 neutral cards. The 4 neutrals tend to be rare or legendaries, so that's going to be really cool. And all of these cards are going to be super powerful, almost guaranteed, because that's just how they tend to be. So let's go over with the first one right over here, my man. 4 mage class, the amazing Reno. 10 mana, hero card. 5 armor like normal, battle cry, make all minions disappear. Poof. And it literally says poof on the card. It has not been revealed what the hero power for the class is going to be, for the hero card is going to be, what it changes your hero power into, but making the minions disappear is a incredibly unique ability for a Hearthstone card. It has been stated that it will not trigger death rattles. It doesn't go into like the graveyard pool for cards like Resurrection or effects like that. Alright, amazing Reno. Sorry, I had to go do something real quick. But we're back now. Yeah, he makes them disappear, so they don't get taken out of your deck. They are still in your collection, but they don't trigger death rattles, and they don't end up in the graveyard pool for resurrections cards. I think there's like a druid card that brings beasts back, stuff like that. If there's, I know there is one card that like all your cards that died like this turn come back. Doesn't work with that. That might be a magic card. I'm not sure. Oh boy. But yeah, super cool. I really wish they would give us the hero power, but I'm recording this on a Sunday, so that probably won't come out until, I'm assuming, tomorrow. Tomorrow sounds good. Next, we have a paladin card called Shotbot. Now, I also wouldn't doubt, getting the rest of the League of Explorers as hero cards. Because one, we haven't really had that at all yet. We had our heroes be actual like minions that you could play, not heroes. Actually, did we have Starseeker? No, that was a quest. I'm like 100% confused now. We're gonna have to look this up, but I wouldn't doubt it if we got each of the explorers as their own hero card. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, that's different though, right? For those of you not watching the video, you can check the video out at on YouTube at Wholfie. Oh man, this is not the right thing to look up right now. I'm gonna pause it. Yeah, okay, I was right. The Elite Starseeker hero portrait that I was thinking of is like the one that you can pay to own. It's not one you get from a hero card. That one should only be the Malfurion the Pestilent card. So that's good to know that I know my Hearthstone enough. But I would definitely wager that each of the hero classes, because they have one more card slot than the villains, one of them is going to be a hero for each of our explorers, because we haven't had that at all yet. And because they have Galakrond, it kind of makes sense. Makes sense that they didn't do a lot of stuff during the first run of the cards.
That's what Daddy likes.
And we unpause again. We got Lily. But yeah, Amazing Reno sounds super cool, especially actually now that I'm thinking about it. There's 4 chapters in the story mode, and there's 4 explorer classes, so it just kind of makes sense that we'll get like 1 hero per chapter, which is, I mean, it's a smart way of thinking about it. That way, if you don't have all the gold to spend on all of the chapters, you can kind of just pick which one you want to play more, like which class you want to play the most, and get the cards for that class. And then we also get 1 neutral legendary, I'm assuming, for each chapter as well. So the only way I can think of to break it down is that each chapter is going to get us 2 legendaries, 1 neutral and 1 class legendary, and then one of the chapters I think is going to give us a bunch of, and then we just get a bunch of random villain stuff. So it's really exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff. Let's take a look at some of the other cards. Not a lot. There's only 4 out right now, but Shotbot is going to be in for Paladin. He's a 2-mana 2/2 Shotbot. He's a mech with Reborn, which is interesting enough. It is a common. I'm not expecting it to be super amazing, but it's a mech and it has Reborn. So that means, yeah, you can magnetize it and get some crazy death rattle stuff going on. If it reborns and it was magnetized, I don't believe it comes with the magnetized buff. So I'm sure that's not going to happen. But Mech Paladin used to be a thing a while ago, and it could be a thing again. Right now, I'm not entirely sure where Paladin stands. I've been doing a lot of Magic the Gathering playing recently, but Paladin, from what I understand, is kind of in this mid-rangey spot. And then you also have the OTK Paladin with Holy Wrath, which this does not fit into at all. But maybe there's a third mid-range kind of brew that you can do with mechs. Hopefully. I'm sure there is. Next, Priest, we have Dark Prophecy, 3 mana for a spell, Priest spell, that says discover a 2-cost minion, summon it, and give it +3 health. Not bad. I'm going to say not bad. You're spending 3 mana, but you're giving 3 health to something which is worth more than a mana. It's almost worth like a mana and a half or 2 mana. Especially because health is just so much more important in card games like this. And you get to discover the 2-cost minion. Now, we don't have the class bonus in the Discover mechanic anymore, but there are a lot of strong 2-cost minions, especially in Priest. So let's look up a few. I'm not trying to pad the time of this podcast at all. Priest. Oh my gosh, Priest minions, Hearthstone. Gabe wanted to say hello. He came on in and he was like, "Sup." There goes my headset. Okay. Minions. Those are spells, not minions. Minions. Ahani, Phantasm, Dead Ringer, Envoy Lazul, Evil Constrictor, Grand Mummy, Lightwell, Shadowy Figure, Squashling are our offerings in the Priest class. So we really don't want any of those. So it's I guess it's a good thing that we don't have the class bonus anymore. But if you think about it, any card that's balanced will be better off with +3 health. So I think it'll be a good card. I could see this going. It's not going to go like, obviously the only Priest deck that's been running around since the beginning of time is the combo Priest deck with Inner Fire and Topsy-Turvy shenanigans. So this, if you want to put it in there, you could. It doesn't affect the deck whatsoever. It kind of does because it gives the thing +3 health. So if you get a really good neutral minion with some high health, give it more health. It makes your Inner Fire that much easier. But maybe people need to get off their butts and start making new Priest decks. Let's make Priest great again. How does Trump? Let's make Priest. Let's make Anduin not such a crybaby and make him a big boy and a decent deck to play, because I honestly disenchant all of my Priest cards when I get them because I have no interest in playing Priest whatsoever, because the only decent Priest deck is Wall Priest and Topsy-Turvy Priest, Inner Fire Priest, whatever you want to call it, and I hate it. I hate Wall Priest so much. Oh, it's so disheartening. Moving on, I think this is the last card we have to reveal. We got the Warlock Chaos Gazer, 3 mana, 4/3 demon. Battlecry Corrupt, a playable card in your opponent's hand. They have 1 turn to play it. If you guys don't know what Corrupt is, it's a card in Warlock that says to kill a thing if it in the next turn. So I'm sure right now they're using Corrupt as like it's capitalized, so it is Corrupt the card, and it'll just get sent from their hand to the grave. It'll just get discarded. They'll just burn it, right? By playable card, it means any card that they'll be able to play the next turn. So if you play Chaos Gazer on turn 3, then it can target anything from a 0 to a 4 drop in their hand, because they'll have 4 mana on their turn and they have that 1 turn to play it. Notably, this can hit stuff like Zephrys, because Zephrys has a low mana cost. He only costs 2 mana or 3 mana, 2 mana, one of those, and you need to play him at the opportune moment, and you also need to have no duplicates in your deck. So if you can get this to hit a Zephrys, that's going to nuke that in the bud. Could also get rid of some timely cards, some sort of spells that they might need appropriate targets for, or they just discard a card, which is also good. I'm so tired of not being able to mess with the opponent's hand in Hearthstone. It makes me so sad. I love doing it in Magic, and now Warlock has a way of doing it to other people instead of themselves, so that's really great. She can stay with me so I help me tell people what's up with Hearthstone. Isn't that right? Oh, you don't have a unibrow anymore, little mamas? Oh, it was so smooth. Oh, so let me just touch your whole face. Watch the video version of the podcast, people. It's adorable. We're gonna do this real quick. There was a video that came out with the announcement of the official date of when the single player is coming out. It's adorable. It's super cute. It's basically the explorers are out fighting against the dragons, and they're like, wait a second, where's Reno?
The drama teacher took Mimi and her.
But yeah, they kidnap Reno, and then Reno's like, oh no, stop rhyming at me. What are you going to do? Just stop it. I don't like the animation so much for some reasons. We'll get into that in a bit. But then Rafam goes into like, I'm going to unveil my secret plan. All that, what my secret plan was all along, with puppets. And then he takes out these puppets. And that's the animation I don't like, is because they do the puppet animation on like the actual illustrated characters. But then why not just make actual puppets and record it like IRL? Like, I wish they did that instead of illustrate really bad puppets and then puppet animate the bad puppets. Like, that was just dumb. I don't like it. But they got a lot of stuff going on. I get it. They don't need to do everything that I want just because it would be better, right? If you guys have a chance, I'm not going to play the video right here because that may cause some problems later on down the line for me. But go check out the video. It's funny. Rafam's kind of like, yeah, we did this, and this is the thing, and the whole thing rhymes, and we stole Dalaran, and then we went and we unleashed the plagues at the place, Aldoon. And then Reno's like, yeah, but we stopped them. And Rafam, what? Like, Donut's like, oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, we stopped all the plagues. And then Reno does a little song and dance with each of the plagues that he stopped. And then he's like, did you forgot about the fire one? He's like, no, we got that one too. Don't worry about it. We got the fire one too. And then Rafam was like, oh, but you didn't know, twist, that we stole the plague of undeath. And then Reno's like, uh-oh. And then Rafam takes out this big old metal Galakrond puppet, smashes the thing. He's like, yep, this was the plan all along. Galakrond's gonna help us rule the world, and you can go F yourself. It was great. It was funny. You should check it out. We're going to pause real quick. And we're back. I forgot to put this in the news section, but we did have a patch that went out. It went out a while ago. That's why I didn't bring it up. It went out on January 8th. Today's the 12th. But we didn't cover it in the podcast because we didn't record. We haven't recorded the podcast yet. So we're covering it now. You calm down. It's so hard to find some of this information sometimes because there's not a single place where they post everything. Like this, I've only found on the community discussion forum on the Blizzard site, which is not some place that I would want. Instead of just typing in Hearthstone news or going to the Hearthstone site and going to their news tab, you would think that updates and balance patches would be included in there, but they're not. So, anyway. Patch, what is this? 16.0.8. I had a bunch of nerfs very going around to stuff. I haven't read them myself, so I know I saw the things and I was just like, I'm just gonna skip through all these and play my quests. And I did, so that's what I did. But let's go through these right now. For Warlock, we have Fiendish Rites, mana cost increased from 3 to 4. Warrior got Scion of Ruin, mana cost increased from 3 to 4. Ankar, durability reduced from 3 to 2. Nothing but nerfs. Shaman got Dragon's Pact, now reads if you invoke twice, give them +2/+2 instead of +3/+3, which is so good. That card was broken. And Invocation of Frost now costs 2 instead of 1, so that card is almost useless. Rogue, Necrim Apothecary got changed from 4 mana to 5 mana, and Dragon Queen Alexstrasza can no longer generate Dragon Queen Alexstrasza from its own ability. I don't know. They said they'll refund the Arcane Dust for the next 2 weeks if people want to get rid of it. If they crafted it, I guess. But I thought that it was fine the way it was. Like, honestly, the odds of getting Dragon Queen Alexstrasza is kind of one of those, like, cool Hearthstone stories that makes Hearthstone worth playing, is all the randomness and stuff. So I don't know if that change was necessary, but I'm assuming people were complaining about it, or that's just not the way it was intended. So if you still haven't opened up Hearthstone yet since these patches took place, Alexstrasza shows up on there. And I thought that it went from like 3 dragons to 2 dragons. It was always 2 dragons. It just says other dragons, like generate 2 other dragons. But yeah, I don't know. Shaman's been so powerful, and it doesn't make sense for them to print a bunch of Shaman cards that are just bad. They have to give Shaman cards that are at least decent. But some of these were ridiculous. Dragon's Pack giving you 2 wolves and +3/+3 if you invoke twice, which is literally a card that Shaman has says invoke twice, and then you play this, and now you get a big old puppies to fight with you. That was just already obviously overpowered. Invocation of Frost, fine. Like, it doesn't do a lot in invokes, and the invocation thing, they have stated that they're going to work on invocations and the invoke keyword, because it just in general seems to be a little too overpowered. And I agree. Necream Apothecary being changed to 4/5, manageable. Rogue can deal with it. Tempo Rogue is strong, it's not going anywhere. Warrior, Scion of Ruin, I don't even remember what Scion of Ruin does. Scion of Ruin, while I'm at it, I'll search Ankar Hearthstone. Images, I spelled it way wrong. Images on that too. Ankar is the, after your hero attacks, draw a pirate from, okay, yeah, that's fine. You don't need all the pirates. Rush, Sign of Ruin, 3 mana, 3/2, Dragon Rush, Battlecry. If you've invoked twice, summon 2 copies of this. And it got changed to 4 mana. Yeah, that seems appropriate. I think 3 mana was a little too much for that anyway. Especially when you think of Druid with the quest completed, you get, or like without the quest completed, you're paying 5 mana. Is it 5 or 4 mana for the, I think it's 5 mana, right? For the gloopy guy that can double himself but also gives himself +2/+2 if you have the quest completed. So that's a 5/5 for 5, and you get 2 copies of it. So for 3 mana, getting 3 copies of a 3/2, the stats just don't line up. It makes more sense to be at 4 mana. So I'm happy about that. At least. Ankar, being a 3 mana 2/2 weapon, that's fine. I mean, it's still a nice weapon. It still deals 2 damage. Yeah, it's fine. I have no comments. Like, you draw your pirate, whatever, man. Literally, like, that's what Warrior needs to make the deck work, is draw. To make a bunch of aggro pirates work. Fiendish Rites, I think I remember what that is, but I'm not entirely sure, so we're going to look it up. Fiendish Rites. Hearthstone. Lily's just throwing stuff all around the desk. Invoke Galakrond, give your minions +1 attack. Yeah, that card really made aggro, like Zulok, a thing. So I'm okay with it pushing up to 4, not the biggest deal. Zulok is always going to be a thing. And we already talked about Alexstrasza. Battlegrounds update includes several adjustments and gets more heroes brawling in Bob's Tavern than ever before. Further Battlegrounds balance changes are coming very soon. In addition to exciting new content we have in the pipeline, we'll have more to share in the near future. Heroes. Shutterwalk. Burbling cost reduced from 2 to 1. Aw, thank God. I love Shutterwalk. I love being able to double the battle cries. Even though it only doubles the next one, but it being 2 gold is like useless. Like, there's no point in playing Shutterwalk if his hero power was 2. So now that it's 1, it's a little bit easier. Queen Wagtoggle, Wax Warband, give a friendly mech, demon, murloc, and beast +2 attack instead of 1 health. Huh, that's interesting. That can be a lot. That maybe Queen Wagtoggle is. I feel like the 1 health. I'm sure Queen Wagtoggle was like good, but now that what's his name? Nightmare Malcolm is out of the game. Queen Wagtoggle is worse because it's harder to get that full list, to get the full value for your health. but health is just notoriously better than attack, especially in Battlegrounds. So now giving them +2 attack, it's a permanent buff, but it also just is a way worse buff. Like, I get why they did it +2 attack, so maybe you can do like a really aggressive version of this, which sounds exciting, because a lot of Battlegrounds games, you don't really think about going aggro or going aggressive. It's always like, okay, what do I have to do to get to the late game? And I just have to like take my pills now. But there is a lot to be said to running an aggro comp and winning out the early game and then pivoting to something else that can suit you for the late game. I think that's a really valid and really cool strategy that can show off a lot of skill. Infinite Toki, Temporal Tavern, cost reduced from 2 to 1, now reads Refresh Buffs Tavern, include a minion from a higher tavern tier. Why? Isn't that what it said already? Include a minion from a higher tavern tier. Oh! Huh! I don't know if... Okay, so does that mean it's a random tavern tier that's above the tavern you are? It's not like the next tavern tier, it's a higher tavern tier? Because they bolded the include a minion, which is always a thing. Like, it's always a minion, so I don't know why that had to be included. But the from a higher tier is different than just from the next tier, so that's kind of cool. Plus, their cost got reduced to 1, so that's great. I always like that. Patches especially now, actually, now that I think about it, refreshing the tavern cost 1 anyway, so Infinite Toki just got super buffed. Like, there's just no reason why you wouldn't use that hero power at least once a turn. Patches the Pirate has returned to the Battlegrounds hero pool. Fire the cannons at the start of your next combat, deal 4 damage to 2 random enemy minions, increase from 3 damage. It's still dumb. It's still whatever. Like, you're only dealing damage to 2 random enemies. Dealing 4 damage could get you through a Mama Bear now. It could get you through, I think, a Golden Hyena, but the problem is golden is shields, not that. Pyramid is back, cool. Brick by brick, give a random friendly minion +3 health, increase from +2 health. Yes, I love giving stuff health. It's great. It gives you a way to buff creatures that aren't supposed to be buffed. It is random, so that's a little bit sad, but it is a big buff. So if you can roll into a strong card early and then just keep like stacking on top of it, then yeah, it's going to be super strong. Minions, Golden Soul Juggler. After a friendly minion dies, deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion twice instead of 6 damage once. Is that different? Deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion twice instead of 6 damage once. I guess that's a buff, I think, because if you deal 3 damage twice instead of 6 damage once, then if you kill a minion on the first 3 damage, then you get to deal an additional 3 damage instead of only doing the 6 damage. So yeah, that's a buff. Demons are gonna get it, alright? Bug fixes and game improvements. Battlegrounds, Selfless Heroes Death Rattle will now only affect minions that do not already have Divine Shield. Thank God. I hated that it did that. Arena, the appearance rate of cards in draft. Oh wow, they have an arena updated here. The appearance rate of cards in the draft has been updated to ensure class balance remains close to the ideal 50% win rate. Specifically, the win rate of Druid, Hunter, and Paladin should now be decreased. Win rate of Priest, Rogue, Shaman, and Warlock should now be increased. Card appearances rates of Mage and Warrior remain untouched. Cool. Alright. I don't play Arena right now, but that's awesome. That is super cool. I'm very much glad to see all of those changes, updates, and some of them might be. I think the Alex Rosa one was unnecessary, but it's okay. It's all right. And you know what? I think that's it. I think that's all we're talking about in the podcast today. Been doing a lot of Magic stuff recently. My apologies. I'm sorry, but we are kind of like zeroing in on what we're doing with our channel. So I'll just take the time to let you guys know what's going on. We got our new series. Bless you all, just the most adorable sneeze. We're calling it Legend Daddy, and it's going to be me, a dad, trying to hit legend in various games that have a ladder type system where they have like a legend status, like whatever the top status is. So that would be legend in Hearthstone, mythic in Magic. I think it's also legend rank in Riot, in League of Legends, and in like StarCraft and stuff like that. It's Grandmaster. I don't know why it's not Grandmaster in Hearthstone, but whatever. And the point is that after I hit it once in a game, it should be easier to keep it up in the next season. So we're starting with Magic because Magic has a new set coming out, like an entirely new set, which is way more cards than the 4 we got to talk about today, plus 31 more cards later. But the Metascape for Magic is gonna go crazy in like 4 days. 17th. 5 days. It's gonna go crazy in like 5 days, or 3 days. I can't remember. And that is gonna be our opportunity to kind of shoot up into Legend, and then once we're in Legend, we should only drop to Diamond, I think, or Platinum, and then that way we can kind of just get back to Legend faster. And then we're gonna start on Hearthstone. So then we climb into Hearthstone Legend, and then whoa, at the end of the month we were Legend in Magic and in Hearthstone. So then it's easier to get Legend in Magic and in Hearthstone, so we can get that done in maybe a week or two, like theoretically. And then once we're Legend in Hearthstone and in Magic, oh my goodness, we'll go on to Teppen or Eternal or Pokemon TCG, or just let me know what the next one is going to be, and then we're going to try to hit Legend in that, and we're going to see how far we can keep it going. Honestly, the goal is just to get the two. It's to get the Hearthstone and to get the Magic. That is my personal goal. If we can jam in a third one, like if we can get Legend in TFT, that would be... Actually, that's the next one. It's going to be TFT or Legends of Runeterra, which... we still haven't been invited to, Rito. Come on, I'm waiting for your invite, Rito. But yeah, that's what we got, and we're also going to be doing some stuff with the YouTube channel. We're going to be trying to do more videos. We've actually been a little consistent the last week with videos, which I'm very excited about. So you guys can go check out stream highlights on the YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, we're also going to have like games, like just like normal game creation, like YouTube channels where they just do a game. We'll do that. I can do that. That's not hard. I'll do that for fun. I'll do it, man. And then I had this idea that we're gonna do casting parodies. So we're gonna take clips from Grandmasters, from the World Championships in Hearthstone, and from Worlds and Mythic Championships in Magic. And then we're going to pretend to cast them under a voice. And the only one I can think of right now is Will Smith and Mike Myers and Shrek. So it's going to be like, what if Will Smith casted a Hearthstone game? What if Shrek casted a Magic game? And it'd be something like, oh, he played a donkey. I haven't watched Shrek in like 10 years, okay? But I know I can do the accent. I used to be able to do it. Will Smith's is... I'll need practice, but it'll probably be Bad Boys 2 / Men in Black 2 Will Smith, where I'm like, yeah, ha ha ha, he played a land, ha ha, stuff like that. But it might be fun. That's what we got going on. Soon, oof, that was loud. Apologies. We're ending the show now. Thank you. Special thanks to Chaotic for Kawaii Overload for Chaotic, the song we use in our intros and outros for the podcast and the show. Special thanks to Blue Kitty putting up with my shit. Special. If you guys want to say hi, you can check out the Twitter at Wholfie. twitch.tv/Wholfie. Check out the YouTube. Send us an email, wolfie@gmail.com. I'll respond to some of them. Probably most of them. Probably, and if not all of them. But we're super busy, so sometimes none of them, right? So, yeah. Thanks for listening. Check out the Magic episode that we also did. It's over there in next to us, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.